Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome on this fine Easter Sunday, where we are blessed not only by a great match in a minute, but I am also getting to share the broadcast today with infamous, famous BB Nut. Welcome, BB Nut.
Thank you for having me on.
Always a pleasure.
I know you tried me a few times, and my schedule keeps being awful, but
We're trying what we can do. I think we have you booked for a covering of the FA Cup semi-finals. Also, I think, if I remember correctly. So, for you who are, I was going to say, watching this and you don't know what the Clash of Titans tournament is, I will give you a brief sort of introduction to this. It is a separate side tournament that we have here at the UKBBL league. It is snap style, resurrection, call it what you like. Custom teams, you get to build what you like. There's different tiers, and you get to build it. What makes this a slightly different tournament than most other is that you are allowed to bring any one star player or legend from the UKBBL Hall of Fame. And for those who don't know what that is that any time of any of our teams in the past have had players that have reached level 7, they've been introduced in the Hall of Fame, and we actually have no fewer than 2 of those on today's lineup here. So if you look at the Blitzer at the top of the Orc team, and if you look at the Blitzer white on the Undead team, you have 2 perfect examples of what a legend would look like. So these teams are allowed to build their teams and then bring one of these either star players or legends to sort of round out the team. That means also it's a pretty, let's call it, high-powered tournament. As you also can see from the T values, for at least for NAF style. On top of that, we have run it as a I think what's you get to get it's been knockout format, but you get to lose once and still be in it. There's a word for it. I can't. It eludes me right now. But you
double elimination.
exactly, that was the one we were looking for.
Do you know
So
how I know? Do you know how I know that? from watching the Mighty Ducks movie.
perfect. So it means that all these who have played in the tournament have had 2 chances to sort of move on, and Blue Lights have gone to the final, having lost one of those, but has still therefore remained, whereas the Brunginho have managed to get to the final without losing anyone, which then also introduces this sort of interesting concept that Blue Light needs to win this match. Like a draw will mean that he actually hasn't won. So there's no overtime. So they will be playing 2 halves. And if Blue Lights have won at the end of the match, he has won the tournament. Otherwise, it goes to Brunginho. So
That's the advantage for having not lost a game so far.
exactly. So we tried to make that. If they both had lost once or both had lost 0 times, it would have been overtime, and that needed to be a winner. But because we wanted to sort of reward the teams that had made it through without losing even once, that is why there is a win needed for Blue Lights here to be the winner of the tournament. Awesome. So it is a bit of a special case sort of scenario here. So
Can I also ask? We've obviously the legend players which are allowed as UKBBL enters its 55th season. I want to say
we are running the 55th season at the moment, yes.
How many legends are there?
There is a spreadsheet. I don't remember all of them, but there's a lot of them. The one of the issues that we have is that many of them are from Blood Bowl 2. So they have had to be sort of, how to say, adapted for Blood Bowl 3 because the rules that have changed, there are skills that are no longer there, and so on. But I think we
lots of piling on blitzers, which probably
exactly
are less good now.
But for example, also I played goblins. There is 0 goblin legends for some reason. It seems that they are just not meant for this world. But funny enough, there's a lot of halfling legends. So I'm looking forward to someone getting a goblin to level 7, so I can include them on a potential team. Yes.
Is that lots of goblins that sit on the bench and just come on for the one turn? Sorry, not goblins. Sorry, halflings. Halflings. That that they survive that long.
I think it seems to be that it actually have been from halfling teams.
Oh, okay.
So I find that fairly impressive to say personally. My halflings don't survive that long.
No. My brief experience of halflings is if you get to 2 skills, you've done well.
Oh yeah. I think I play a lot of goblins at the point, and generally I could get them up to like a stat increase in 2 skills. That would be like that's usually where it was like amazing, and then they would usually die shortly after that. But yeah.
Okay. So looking at these 2 teams, this is pretty much a standard undead team with the super blitzer. Although the leader ghoul's interesting.
Yeah. So one of the other small details that we have for this is that you needed to bring skills from all categories except one. Meaning, like if you were a chaos team, you need to include even a passing skill or an agility skill, or a mutation skill. So you were only allowed to skip one of all the categories that you had access to, just to get a little bit more variety. So it seemed to have brought a lot of. I think also this is the reasoning for the defensive big one. I'm inclined to believe that's maybe why. Could be.
But he's got a sneaky git as well.
Yeah. So
that's good, isn't it? Does that include innate skills? Sorry, because always the orcs haven't added a passing skill.
So they don't have any passing skill. They should have done any other categories, which would be agility, general, and strength skills, right?
Right.
So
okay,
and that's why I think over here they have gone for no agility skills, so they would have to include a passing skill. So that's why they probably picked the leader on the ghoul.
Yes. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. I get it. Cool. Well, I want to play this next season. This seems fun.
Yeah. I think we have found that the legends seem to be somewhat better than the star players. So we're putting in a little bit of a legend tax to bring the legends a little bit more in line with the star players. But other than that, it seems to be working fine. I find it quite enjoyable. Also, I usually play a lot more of Eternal Leagues, and I find it less stressful to play in Resurrection format. So. And you get to try like a little bit more crazy designs with this sort of thing.
Yeah, there's nothing quite as frustrating as spending 30 games getting a player leveled up for them to die.
Oh yes, that I think we've all been there and cried tears over that.
Yep.
So I generally like I think I put this actually in my review for Blood Bowl 2. This is the best anger management course you can ever take is Blood Bowl. So, but
real life issues pale in comparison once you play Blood Bowl.
It definitely feels like that. So I think it's also be interesting to see, like, I think this orc team is a little bit thin for like what I would usually build. 12 players and 2 goblins. I think the attrition might become an issue over the match, but be interesting to see.
Potentially, I'd say the big gun skills are quite interesting as well with the stand firm. There some restrictions on you can't just spam guard or?
Oh yeah, there was. I'm trying to remember here, so I could be wrong, but I think there's a limit of 5 on skills that you could only do the same skill 5 times. Again, also to bring some variety on it.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing if the match is up. Yep, it is. Let's switch to the match then. Let's see if we caught it from the start. Almost. We're still. So, the undead is kicking, it seems, right?
Hello, Dukes. The undead is indeed kicking. I was just also thinking with the ghouls. I guess the biggest threat really is that, and it would make sense, is the legend on the orc side because obviously with frenzy and tackle with the mighty blow.
Yeah.
So does some of these guys come into battle? I assume some of these games come into battles of which legend either does the best or which legend could be neutralized quickest.
So one of the things I played goblins for funsies, hey Duke, and Bob Dylan. I brought Mork on a goblin team, and the opponent spent a lot of energy on sort of neutralizing Mork, but every time Mork did anything, he just basically put his fingers in his nose and that was it. So I think it also so like some people have gone for like say Star Wars answers or Star like this is I would call like a sort of a removal piece, right? Like star removal pieces. Uh, I think you can neutralize them. You can either like most of them don't have mobility enough that if you sort of like harass them, like put a mummy on top of them or something like that, you can sort of keep them in place. But I think just like when you play normal Blood Bowl, if you're bringing a star player, you are doubling down on whatever it is that you brought a star player for. Are you bringing a thrower star player or a touchdown or a removal star player, right? And you need to sort of like I think this is going to be an attrition heavy match, I think, but at the end of the day, you need to score the touchdown, right? Like everything else is just gravy on top of that, and I think yeah.
I was going to say, it's kind of the two theories I always have with star players. You're either covering your weakness, say, for instance, Nurgle taking a gutter runner,
Yeah.
because that gives him a ball carrier, or you're just pushing what you do well and make it even better. So if you're a removal team like Orcs are, all of a sudden having an even better removal piece just makes that game plan work so much better.
Yeah. But so the thing that I find interesting is I actually think like at the gutter runner on a Nurgle team is I think is perfect example here. I think that is a much better choice than getting like in this case is like both Undead and Orcs are fairly removal heavy teams to begin with.
Yeah.
I let's just put it this way: if I was an Orc team or that's a rough start. Of course, but I would rather have the gutter runner because it will give me so much more flexibility in what I can do than just war of the same. And I think a lot of the teams that I saw, at least in the Clash, might have suffered from that. Is it's like doing more than what you could already do. It's not really going to be much of a difference. Being able to do something you normally can't do is much more useful.
It's one of the reasons Dribble and Drool are so good with Zons, isn't it? Because Zons don't really have a removal game, and all of a sudden you give them two particularly good removal pieces, one slightly better than the other, but and for cheap, and they can afford it.
and the mobility, like Sons don't do one turn touchdowns. Well, they do with these top players. Like it's not a guaranteed, but you also have again like you now have the option.
Yeah.
And I think especially with yep, that's
no Bale's regen. At least that's a zombie, at least, but
yeah.
You never like to go players down too early as Undead, but at least it's a zombie.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like here. I think almost as the Undead player, I would actually take the reroll for that player. Like, I think I'd be happy with that as well.
One reroll with 7 turns still to go into what's going to be a lot of blocking dice and probably some 1 dice at some point does feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think this might also be one of the issues I define with Undead. Once you get to that third ghoul on the pitch, you're down to 4 zombies. One or two zombies get removed. It's then really hard to protect the players you actually need to protect.
Oh yeah, like for better and worse, like Blood Bowl is a numbers game in the sense like any loss of player is always bad. But there's just certain players that are more crucial. Like if it had been a mummy, it would be in like, ooh, the game is more or less.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one of the. I've had a lot of people. So I think I've played a lot of Nurgle recently. I've had a lot of people asking me how do you beat Nurgle. And I'm like, you aim for the rotters and then you aim for the bestigals. You don't fight the big stuff because
No.
it's stronger than you. It's normally stronger than you or as strong as you, and it's tough. You kill the weak stuff and then you can start ganging up on the strong stuff. And Undead. I mean, you'd love to kill a mummy turn 1. Don't get me wrong.
I think we all would.
Yeah, but if you can remove 2 zombies early on, all of a sudden the undead really start to struggle to keep their, they're going to have to keep something exposed every turn, and then you can start hammering that.
But I think it's interesting that we're putting in it from that side. But okay.
Pro works, but doesn't work. He's not. Oh, and he's stand firm.
Yeah,
that seems very risky from blue lights.
Yeah, I think he might have been gone. Just have relied too much on. Of course, I'm going to get a POW here. He gets 75%.
Yeah, slightly more. I don't know what the odds would be with pro as well, but you'd think it wouldn't be too hard. And obviously now he's got to commit to keep that guy safe.
Yeah. So I think one of the problems, and I think Nurgle and Undead both sort of suffer from that. It's what I call a blob team. They work as a blob. If you get them to start spreading out over too much of an area, they stop working really. Orcs have.
Where is that?
Orcs are not as blobby, but they still need coherency. But they're not as.
I always say Orcs are a buddy system team. You always want to have like a big un and a blitzer, or 2 big uns and 2 blitzers together, and you can spread out somewhat with that.
Yeah. You can better be at multiple places at once than you can. Also because mummies just don't have the mobility to, like, if you start getting out of place, you are really in trouble, right? But yeah, it's been interesting that neither side has fouled at this point already.
I guess so. Chat's asking, about whether the goblin should have fouled. I guess the logic would be that it's. I hate fouling zombies. It just feels like such a waste of effort. Because they're just not good. I mean, it depends on the team. If you're Underworld, I think you should be fouling every single turn, and whatever's on the ground, you foul. But I think for the Orcs, especially if you've only got 12 players, it's not really worth the risk or the potentially 1 in 6 chance of losing your goblin for a zombie. And man, this is a lot of contact.
It's definitely a lot of contact here. Not sure I like that from an Orc point of view.
It's high risk, high reward, that's for sure.
That's.
I guess they're relying on that defensive doing some work.
Yeah, just curious here. Like it doesn't take that much for the undead to start swinging around here, and if you're not bringing, you need to bring it more in here. Like I'm not so much worried as an Orc player to not being able to get my touchdown. I'm just more thinking, will I be able to control it on the timeline that I wanted to? Because.
And as Nutty Champ says, the Orcs down to 1 reroll and they're making this much contact.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here comes the foul.
They are going for. What are we fouling? I assume it's going to be the dirty player.
Yeah.
Well, it could be the. No, because. Okay, to go for the no assist foul on the white. Okay. I guess there is no risk of getting sent off unless you break armor, so.
No. Makes all sense. Like if you are going to be sent off, I'd rather be sent off for that piece than that one. So
because I'm hoping a blue light uses up all his good luck today, as I am playing him in Thursday in a very important game in our league.
Yeah.
Well, his wood elves are absolutely battered thanks to the Orcs.
Is how it brings everyone together in a common joy of death. You have orcs, dwarfs.
I think it might be that loss of that reroll that early that has sort of like made him a little bit more, let's say, pushy upwards of the field than I would have probably preferred at this point, and making so much contact.
It just feels risky here because even if you turn over even if the undead turn over early or just don't really do anything, you're gonna have to roll a lot of dice next turn, and I don't know. I despite how I stream and I'm very aggressive. Generally, I'm actually quite a non-aggressive Blood Bowl player. I generally am quite cautious on tabletop. It's just when I have a bit of a disconnect between the computer game. In my head, it goes, "It's a computer game. You're playing for fun. Do what you want. Do some crazy stuff occasionally." But I just feel if I've had one reroll, I don't want to be making too much contact. I want to be just chipping off at the edges, especially as you only need the draw.
Yeah,
As the Orcs here,
and also because like you are 11 versus 10. Like I would prefer to capitalize on that advantage. No. Blue lights, orcs, right? No, blue lights.
no, blue lights the undead.
Yes, blue light. Yeah. That's just.
Oh, my space triggered. That's a big KO.
That's important. Yeah.
That could be the Apo. Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking I might up with that one.
Obviously, different from everyone's wondering, different in NAF style where you don't care about your team's longevity. You would normally power up a KO on turn 2, even if it's a pretty good player. But in NAF style, it's sometimes better just to keep that guy around for another turn.
Yeah,
for the rest of the game rather than risking it.
Yeah, I would probably have kept him because like it's a KO. This drive is most likely going to last for more or less the full half, right?
Yeah. And as the Orcs, if you score a turn 8 on this half, you're pretty confident that Blue Lights is going to struggle to score 2 touchdowns in the second half. Undead can do it, but you'd feel pretty confident going. Going to get the wrestle.
Yeah, definitely got to take the wrestle there.
Yeah.
Just think we dodge. I would have been cheeky and just taking the 2+ and just see what happens.
I would have been one dice because of the because of the defensive. Yeah, but it's probably worth it. It's got no block. It's a 2+, and you've got pro if it goes wrong.
But I think he just wanted the threat of this can go anywhere now, right?
He's probably also worried about the Orcs going around the side, potentially punching the ghoul down, the ghoul that's kind of holding the flank. I know it's Blodge, but we all know Blodge is fake.
Well, as someone who plays quite a bit of Dark Elves, I will definitely agree on that one.
As someone who's been playing a lot of Wood Elves, yes.
Yes, I've been trying my hand at Wood Elves for the arena just for funsies. Blodge is clearly overrated.
Great season for Wood Elves and that. They are a little bit overtuned, I would say.
Yeah.
Apparently, Andy and Jimmy both had ideas on how the arena should be done, and they couldn't agree, and they kind of end up with a half measure, which has ended up with this season being a little wild, shall we say? But it's fine. It keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
Right. So the Orcs are coming back into the middle, probably
trying to just slow down the advancement a little bit.
The drive.
Yeah.
I think that's also the other thing for last turn is turn 2. Your Orcs, you're not that slow. You don't need to be pushing in too early. No. In fact, you almost don't want to because you could end up being forced to score on turn 4 or 5, and then given the undead 3-4 turns back, and that's not what you want. So the Orcs are good at defending, but you just don't. Why risk it if you don't need to do it?
No. I generally refer to this to as seesawing, which is basically like you're roping the sides and trying to make the other side spend as much as time and energy on sort of readjusting their defenses all turns, and hopefully get a lot of bashing in while that's ongoing, right? But
I call it the BS turns, where really the first 3 or 4 turns they don't matter really, do they? In the grand scheme of things, they're BS.
I don't like for me the first 4 turns is setting up how the rest of the half should look like, right?
Yeah.
So which of my players are going to be dancing with the mummies? Which of my players is going to be dancing with the ghouls? Who is going to be doing what, right? Like that's what the first 4 turns is about. it's like soft probing both ways, like from both
Yeah.
teams, and trying to see like I want to get my pieces with block into the pieces you have that don't have it, and so on. Like those sort of details. Because you are basically just stalling for time.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's just like, oh, I'll blitz this guy because I might get a removal. Oh, I didn't. Okay, never mind. But
Try again next turn.
yeah. It's one of those things where obviously the first 3 or 4 turns can matter if you get some really hot dice to remove a load of players.
Yeah.
But also sometimes you go, okay, it's turn 5. I actually need to try and win the game, win the drive now.
Yeah. But I think it's those small decisions about like setting up the rest of the half that is sort of important. That's cheeky.
Yeah.
That is cheeky. Yeah, you're not going to
I'm currently doing a league with a lot of new players called Nut Bowl, and I mean after each round, anyone want me to go over the games with them, and one of the things that keeps coming up in that, stun mummy, that's big.
Yeah.
That's pretty. That could not out the drive, but that's pretty much him. He's not going to be doing much the next couple of. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be where you make the break, depending where the other mummy goes.
Yeah, but I'm just also thinking like you got to pick on this now down, and you're not actually like this opens here, then you open there. You have the ball carry. You can more or less get anything else. You can block this down over here. Like this is.
If Blue Light's willing to make a bit of a risky dodge, it actually could be 2 dice on the ball this turn with the Star Blitzer. It would be a semi-risky play. These zombies have to do some work.
Yeah,
as you say.
Just not seeing how we're gonna get him in here because I don't want to do double dodges.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, as I say, it would be a risky play.
Yeah, this would be better off if it was over here. It made it a lot easier because we could dance in here.
But just say, one of the things I've noticed going through the games with these less experienced coaches is it's the micro decisions that end up costing them 3 or 4 turns down the line.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you're like, well, that's actually what you've done there isn't actually that bad, but actually in the grand scheme of things, the negative effect has come in later.
Yeah, you set yourself up for fail at a later point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in that turn, it was mostly fine, but actually, if you'd gone to this square here, or you'd broken off with that player, this situation would have been better later.
Oh, definitely.
And it's one of the harder concepts to. Oh, goes after the goblin.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That
pro is
fails.
Really not doing much work today.
I have to dodge off again.
What? Why are we not following?
Because I assume we're going to try and dodge off. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They had the extra reroll from the kickoff, but
I wanted to be in a better position after this turn. If this to me is too passive. So one of the things that I talk about, like when I talk to people, is giving my opponent something to solve. What? Right now here, if I'm an orc player, I'm like I can more or less do whatever I want next turn. There's no issue for me to solve.
The left, as we look at it for the orcs, is looking pretty open to kind of just smash in there and get away. Yeah, and then potentially foul that mummy that's on the ground that's about to unstun next turn.
Yeah. Clear these two.
But yeah,
nice done here.
Because you do get it when you play against people who just do the really passive defense, and it basically gives you no agency to do anything. Yeah, and it always ends up feeling like a mistake.
For me, it's more a question of like if I don't give my opponent something to solve, he gets to do whatever is the best thing for him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when you go like really passive, like I'm just going to do columns, let's say.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'll just come forward, blitz you. Probably I'm then dictating my strongest players are going where I want them to give you a headache you're probably going to back off. Especially like the Elf Mirror, the Elf match, they're going to back off again.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're going to. If something's going to fail, and I'll get an opening.
Yeah.
But as you say, if you're just, although bad dice, slightly bad dice there for the Orcs.
So if it's 45, 40,
50,
45, yeah.
Going to potentially blitz in with the Star Blitzer
I think we're gonna take
onto that white.
and hope we'll bring this one over. Yeah.
Oh, no, it goes to the Goblin. Okay.
Yeah. Because I think he wanted to get this to blitz this guy over here. That's what he was looking for. Now this is actually turning slightly sour.
Yeah. They both had a slightly rough. Oh. See, I was just about to say I didn't like the Goblin block because you only got one reroll.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that you have to re-roll that surely because the rules.
Yeah, if this goes like this, this defense is not holding anything.
Man, that is a rough turn for the Orcs.
Yeah.
No re-rolls now. Four turns left after this. And that mummy, which we said was going to be out of the game, is actually very much in the game right now.
Yes, very much back in the game.
Yeah.
And what worse is you almost have to start like now you're weak on this side. I don't like that, but you are.
This school can come blitz the Goblin at the back and cause some issues from the back if they wanted to.
Yeah.
The block ghoul.
I'm just thinking you can actually get this one up.
The other thing is there a chain here? Because obviously the Orcs are so blocked up. Is there a way you could potentially chain? You could. Here's what you could do. I don't think you have enough players. I was trying to see if there's a way of blitzing the Goblin to push the thrower onto that mummy that's just stood up. Not that you'd be able to hit him, but obviously having the ball carrier on a mummy might not be the ideal way to start your turn.
Yeah, but I also like not counter. This is one of the perks to having the legends instead of the star players. Like I had Morg a triple skull. One of my matches is just go like not gonna reroll that. Just gonna cry a little bit over here. Is that okay?
Although I did have a gnome tree. Was it 1 in 700 and whatever it is?
Oh yeah.
The other day, and that was with the reroll.
So many years ago.
Change
the Orc from if that had been a down, we could actually have
blitz the ball.
Yeah.
So we are. Oh, we're blitzing the Super Orc. Gets the POW.
Yeah. That one. Push him out. So we'll hold that a little bit.
And this is the other problem. Group. This is the other reason I would start to teach people about not blocking up like this, because if your opponent's smart, you give them some real agency on where your players are now going.
Oh yeah.
And this has gone sour for the Orcs very quickly, and it's the drive's definitely over. They could definitely wrestle this back, but with no rerolls, with a lot of big uns, with no block,
it has definitely become a lot more risky.
Yeah.
Like the Orcs were sort of in the driving seat. The Undead is definitely in the driving seat at the moment.
You got the two mummies being a real good anchor in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
So you kind of, as the Orcs, probably need to just go pick a side at this point. We're on turn 5, so as I said, the BS turns are over.
Oh yeah. One has to start swinging over here.
Yeah.
You can't. There's too much stuff over here that you can.
Yeah. But it's probably, is it just too easy for the, well, obviously you've got to try it, but it feels too easy for those ghouls just to come around now. And if you try doing that in potential, I don't know. This just feels, it feels rough for the Undead, for the Orcs, because
but I think
they've lost the
they lost the momentum. Yeah.
They've lost the momentum. They're losing the removal game because a zombie. I would take a zombie for a dead zombie for a KO'd Orc blitzer any day of the week.
Oh yeah. especially because the Orcs only have 3 guards. So missing one
Yeah.
of them is like a huge swing, right? Yeah, you're swinging over. The problem is like you can't start forcing it your way up here. You will lose this battle, and going down the middle through 2 mummies not likely gonna happen. And going over here is bad. Not not gonna lie and say that is bad, but it's like it's better than the alternatives. Is that gonna be an uphill now? Is
I
it?
was just thinking that. Is this? I think it's 1D.
Yeah, because there's guard there.
Oh no, this is uphill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another double
Oh.
skull. Well, if it had to be a double skull, let's burn it here. But that is gonna be wow important.
Now this is where the phrase we'd come in with something based cage.
Yeah.
There should be there could be a way for the undead to punch in here.
So
You punch the.
If we punch here.
That's what. Yeah, I was just looking at. You punch that blitzer, then you can punch the big un, and then could be 2 dice on the ball with wrestle. Or do you punch with the? Do you risk punching with the zombie because you got the guard assist from the mummy? I think I've fed them. Yeah, I don't know.
I certainly wouldn't like to find myself sandwiched.
Okay, well the ball's now based, and as we all know, that means it's GG. Good game.
Yeah. I don't really follow here.
Oh, I would have followed that.
Yeah.
Gets the push. So there's definitely gonna be two dice on here with the wrestle, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would take like the way we've done it here now. I would do that way, but I would have liked that mummy up here. Then I could have done it behind here. I could even have taken a cheat. There's a lot. There's a lot of scoring going on at the moment.
Right, balls on the ground. There. Yeah, there's no real recovery for the undead, but at the same time, you can probably get 2, 4, 6, 7.
I'm gonna just swing around here. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely follow that.
Yeah, this driver's it got bad for the Orcs, and then it kind of seemed to get worse, and then it got really bad.
Yeah, I think something about from the ashes, no, from the fire to the ashes, or that right?
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
That was the one we were looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think we should.
Yeah,
I'd be greedy on that one. No, right?
Was it as a 5 up into a 3 up? But if it works, you can potentially base the ball, can you? No, it just goes round.
Yeah, I think that's a safer bet.
I think that's sensible. The greedy side of me would have liked to have cut the corners and taken the dodges, but that's because I've played way too much Wood Elves recently, and now in my mind everything is
doable.
I've been doing this really stupid build of Durell in that NAF style with no rerolls and 3 war dancers.
Yeah.
Agility 1 up is a hell of a drug.
Oh, so I had a Dark Elf team that made it to Chalice, and I had 2 blitzers with 2 blitzers with 1+ AG.
Yeah.
They especially also when they start combining that with Witch Elves, it becomes see, this is what I wanted this one for over here.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you still take this position as the undead.
Yeah.
Because this looks like a best potato from here.
Yeah, it's definitely getting risky at this point, right? This is the headache for next turn, right?
Yeah.
And,
so
and you've got really nowhere else to go. So at this point, I think. Sorry?
I was going to say, you got to go forward this turn with no rerolls. You can't be in your half with the ball at the end of this turn, in my opinion. You need someone who can score next turn. You can score so you kind of got to go forward, but that just invites you into an easy blitz from the undead.
I think you
or do you have to just go? Or do you have to just go this point? Let's scout the half 0-0 and try and defend.
Yeah, I think at this point I would, if this the cost of going into second half being down 1-0 is just too high of a risk. I think that I would doing something at this point, because the Undead still has 3 turns. 3 turns
Yeah.
is well within the means of actually getting to the point where they can score. So
Yeah,
I would probably get this up and then just hope for like, yeah, it's a low chance that I score in the next 2 turns, but I'd rather just wait out the Undead at least one more turn, because that would put a lot of pressure more on
Yes,
them.
they picked up the ball. Whoopee
But where do we put the potato?
it's got to go back. I'd say it's got to go behind that big one, but that's not safe, is it? Really? Because you got
No,
the
because there's like, no, this guy's over there, and
yeah.
like 4+, 3+.
Or the you just need the zombie to punch the goblin out the way, and there's a dodge with the block ghoul down on the right side, and he's through.
Yeah.
You got the 2 zombies on this side who are either probably eyeing up a surf.
They are down and surrounded
Yeah, I
by
think that probably was the best square, but it's. I mean, at least they're in that the right half of the pitch. But this doesn't look like too hard to get 2 dice on the ball. Hey guys, I've started playing a game of actual tabletop, and it's been playing Blood Bowl 1, 2 for a while. Ooh.
Greedy.
Yeah, oh, that's a big stun.
It is, but I think in this situation I'd rather have put him here.
I've got ill yet, but there's little spots. I mean, I'd say I'm biased. I think tabletop's the best way to play the game. Blood Squire. I love tabletop.
Yeah.
That's it. Being a father of
Ooh.
3 sometimes. Oh,
That's important.
another player on the ground.
oh, that's not the best scatter for the undead. But again, I think you'd take it at this stage.
Oh yeah.
Probably GFI the mummy to mark the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, the painting side's a whole extra hobby, which some people hate. And
So-
a friend of mine makes a lot of good money on eBay selling painted teams for that reason, because a lot of people don't like doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
It's not like we didn't stand this guy up first before taking that risk.
No.
I think for me the disadvantage of tabletop is that it is, depending on where you are in your life. When I was younger, I had time. I could probably easily find time for it. Whether I find now it's easier to sort of fit into my calendar, sort of wise, to do it on a computer. Also like that I'm saving the time of setting up and pulling down. But I think that was more when I played 40k. Because setting up the whole thing and tearing it down like that, well, that was half the evening, right? Blood Bowl doesn't have the same issue to the same extent, right?
Yeah. I don't miss the days of playing like an actual. Oh, interesting. I thought you might dodge off that ghoul.
Yeah, or at least put him down here.
Oh, didn't get the surf.
No, but I think you actually prefer. Oh, that's removed. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's actually
I would not power up this one.
This I could bring over here. That is actually quite important at this point.
Feels like using a bit of his time bank, but I think it's a good turn to be using a bit of the time bank.
Yeah.
Also winning the timeout battle quite a bit, so I didn't realise the Orcs have only got 2.5 minutes left.
No, I just saw that too, and I was like, that's low.
You generally use a little bit less time defending, I find, than attacking anyway. But you still want the time for those turns you're going to need it.
I generally use like 50% more time on the first half than I do on the second half, generally, and also, of course, more attacking than defending. But yeah.
Famously, I don't use much time bank.
I think quite famously I use quite a bit of my time bank every match. It's rare nowadays that I run out of time, but I quite use my time bank.
I do like it in the game. I think it adds another skill to the online game of managing your time bank. And,
definitely. I also had a friend. I won't lie.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I won't lie. During the World Cup, it drove me nuts with how the time bank of some of the coaches.
Oh, well, that's because they almost let's be all fair. They almost exploited it, but that's slightly different. Because you can do that sort of thing. But I think one of the things that I also do like about playing on the computer versus real life is I have a friend when he plays Blood Bowl. He takes like 2 hours for every turn.
Yeah.
And as much as you want to be a good friend and everything, and be like, of course you can take your time, it also gets to be like, yeah, we can play a game in a whole evening because you spend like 92% of the time. That's an important bounce.
That very good bounce to the Orcs. Yeah, a famous one of our local NAF rep who I've known for 20 odd years. A guy called Lunch Money. Him and me play pretty fast on tabletop. So it still needs GFIs from here, so it's not as if this is three GFIs from here.
Yeah,
and a dodge.
And a dodge.
So,
but you need to, but you don't have an alternative. Like you can't go backwards.
No.
If you go backwards, you don't have enough movement.
And to be fair, if you make the dodge, you're pretty safe. You're probably not going to concede a touchdown if you make this dodge.
No.
Because most of the good undead stuff that can get back is on the wrong side of the pitch now.
Yeah. Everything is out of place now.
Oh, and they freed up the... Oh, no, they haven't. There's a mummy right there. I was about to say they freed up the Super Orc. No, they haven't.
Yeah. That is greedy.
Oh.
Gets away with it, but that's greedy.
Wow. I thought I was greedy.
I can see what it like. It's clearing up all the resistance and the odds of like this going sour for him. So it's not like I think I don't dislike this, but I'm just saying it's
Your
really
hand
dodge.
Works. The dodge works. First GFI.
No, we still want GFI short of being able to make it next turn. My math.
Yeah, so I think 2
and you might
GFIs
as well-
from here.
Yeah. See that one there. Yeah. Shield.
So
Wow.
there's a rush and a 4+ dodge.
Yeah. Yeah.
For 2 dice on the ball. 4 up dodge into a rush, but or can that blitz a blitzer? So yeah, I think you're punching with the mummy, and that blitz. If you get you punch the mummy punches the Super Orc, and if that's a POW, then it's 2+2+ for 2 dice on the ball.
Yeah. I think that's the best you have at this point.
Yeah. I mean, fair play to the Orcs. That looked really rough, and I did not think they'd been in a position to be scoring on for their turn 8, and they've wrestled it back.
Yeah. Definitely been a swinging match so far. Yeah.
Yeah, take the base first because
Might as well.
the rest of this is a lot riskier.
Yeah.
He's have to at least do something.
You need to reroll. You reroll that.
Ooh.
You needed to reroll that.
You don't follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, you have no.
If you wanna
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's now 4+3+2+.
Yeah. Unless you take this one. And then,
Yeah, or it's the 4+. Oh. Okay. Oh, they freed up the.
Yeah.
He's not in range.
Really help that much in all fairness.
I guess you could come down. You could take the 2+2+ to then have a second base on the Orc to see. That's not really helping. He still just dodges off, doesn't he? It's still just a 3+ dodge.
Well, at least by basing him twice, right? You are buying at least like right now. What I would be thinking as the Orc is I can maybe get this one blitzed away, and if I get that one blitzed away, I have a clear path, right? Whereas if I can at least get 2 feet on this, like double marking it, at least I get a 1 in 3 chance that he won't score.
Yeah, you guarantee that he has to. He has to dodge. Fails the rush.
Rerolls, double ones.
Oh, snakes it.
Yeah, rough.
Okay. Yeah, I think Blue Light's a little hard done by that. Obviously there was some very bad dice as well for the Orcs going in.
Yeah.
But I feel that bounce just undid all the good work, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, yep.
Yeah.
So he has to hope for the 1 in 9 that he fails the punch here, right?
Got to hope for the 1 in 9 or the rush.
Yeah.
It's still a rush, isn't it?
It's still a rush.
Yeah. So good odds on the Orcs scoring.
Yeah. There was not the 1 in 9. And is there a 1 in 6? The famous tripwire on the end zone? No. The Orcs scores. Ouch, ouch. Yeah.
And obviously, the Undead one turn isn't impossible, but
They
it's
should
not the best
almost
one
get
turn
a.
in the game.
They should probably hope for a bonus turn. I think that's best odds if they want to really swing this.
I mean, yeah, I've done an Undead one turn, but the fact it's memorable probably tells you that it's not that easy.
I actually think this is going to sound slightly weird, but it's actually true. I think I've done one turn smaller with dwarves than I have with undead.
That doesn't. The double frenzy does actually help.
The frenziness does help, and a runner with sidestep is actually quite useful.
Oh.
So,
yeah. I see. I've actually done more was it gnome one turns with the foxes than I have undead one turns. I've had maple. Maple does make that a little cheaty with the extra reach punch.
Yeah.
But yeah, movement 7 is not ideal. No frenzy is not ideal, and not having a bunch of elves to run around and fill in gaps is not ideal. So this is so it's not an easy one turn, but you have to still try it, in my opinion.
Yeah, either that or just go for like if
Well, yeah,
you got to get to have some removals, and any removal at this point is crucial.
keeping that. Yeah, I guess the other strategy could be try and kill that goblin, then foul one of the big uns. If you can kill that defensive big un, that makes your drive a lot easier.
Yeah. But even like if you can get one removal, like a permanent removal, so that you're playing 11 versus 10, be big.
Not even trying the one turn, just going for removals, and I guess hoping they maybe get an extra turn.
I was gonna say without frenzy, it's impossible.
It's not impossible. It's just
very, very unlikely. Let's be fair. Okay, I think technically there is probably ways to do it, but I think they're more theoretical than that they are practical.
Doesn't break armor. Yeah, so I would 100% foul the defensive big un here. I think he is.
Yeah. So that stand firm guy is starting to be a bit of a pain in a certain body part.
To be fair, either big un removal here would be big because the stand firm could be very annoying on defense as well. Just you get a turn, you do that where you just basically lose an activation because it goes, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
The defensive one, obviously, I think would be slightly better priority, but neither removal would be bad. Can the mummy?
Let's go for the red blow.
Yeah, blue lights has to win. Little Wing. A draw goes to the Orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the right choice. As we said, that defensive is going to be annoying in the second half.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I said they're both going to be annoying in the second half, but I think the defensive just turning off auto touch is triggered.
Oh, it's a dead. Dead. Yeah, you're gonna APOC that. You APOC that. We're not giving the undead a bonus player and we're losing a pick on the second half. No. What?
Oh, eats it. I don't hate it, actually, if I'm honest. I get the logic.
I really don't like that.
Because the Appos are so much worse this edition, and the KO doesn't come back, so the Undead are now a player up.
But like anything but dead. Anything but dead, he doesn't get the zombie. And anything
they have bench anyway, though.
Yeah, no, 50, yeah, but on 50, they have no... zombie is just like making worse things worse, but like the thing that I really care about is like you are 50% chance of keeping the player. I'm taking the 50% to keep that player. Especially also
not quite
because
50 anymore. There is it's 40. It's like 40% chance now.
is it? It's not. I could be wrong. I seem to remember it's the first
Yeah.
129 on a 16 dice. That should
No,
be like
1 to 6. So there's 1 in 10. There's 10 results which involve him still being off. Still not coming back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Missed next game. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. That's
Roll
right.
those. Yeah.
Obviously, old rules it used to be 50-50, and if 50-50, I'm 100% taking it. But I think Dino might be right here. I think I'd rather just save the power up now for a KO in the second half. If one of the other big guns or blitzers goes out, I think you just immediately power up it. But 2 goblins. It's now 2 goblins on the pitch. Although it's 11 on 10. There's goblins. I would 100% be going for those goblins early on here. Try and get even more players up.
Yeah. Any attrition at this point is going to be really because the KO fail, right? Like you don't know that, but that's the danger you have, right?
I know. It's one of those. I think that death, the Apo there is one of those decisions. I don't think there's a wrong answer.
No.
Correct.
It's also one of those things like whatever Nuffle decides. Like if you rape hog it and it stays dead, like then that's clearly wasted. And if he saves it, it's the miracle that you needed, and vice versa, right? So it's like it's also like what do you believe your luck is going to be in this case, right? And hence, unless you have a very good crystal ball that I would very much like to borrow, I don't have a perfect answer.
No, that is. I mean, we said he needed something. Yeah, he said he needed a big removal. That was.
Yeah, definitely it. That definitely that's pretty big.
Bar the Super Orc, that's pretty much the best you could have got.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely not what he needed.
Timeout, that's not good. No. So,
yeah.
Blood Bowl, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
We'll let you kill one of the best players, and now immediately we'll also give you one less turn in the game you have to win.
Yeah.
I think also if I'm...
You got to reroll that. And it's not so much for it is you don't have the turns to wait.
No.
Like,
and 100% here is the undead. I think you need to go aggressive now. Foul every turn if you can.
That's the removal.
KO.
You need to use the APOC now.
That should be the Apo. Yeah, that's the Apo. 100% now that's the Apo. I think the position he's in, he could definitely not have rerolled. Like the position doesn't need the reroll, but for the time clock, he needed the reroll. In a normal game of Blood Bowl, you could probably eat it, but doesn't Apo? Wow.
I wonder what we're keeping the APOC for. Games like what are we keeping for? Like is it for the these two? Like is that more or less reserved for them? Because I think that's more or less all that's left to APOC. That's really.
Are you blitzing the thrower here with the mummy? Also helps you with the foul.
I think priority 1 should be trying to get up, pick up the ball.
Also interesting that the leader, the leader is going back to pick up the ball. I thought you want one of the block guys back for the ball.
Yeah, I think he like it's
always fails. Oh,
you can't.
Oh, does reroll?
Yeah. We're back to the clock thing. Like that's the only reasoning I can justify that. Like, to keep the clock in our sort of favor, we need to do this. Take the gamble.
This is the thrower. This could be.
This can be huge. Could be huge. It's not going to be. And then we should. This one.
That bigger needs a foul because you're already players up, but you need to if you're going to win this game from here.
You need more.
I don't think you're quite enough a player up to push for the win quickly. So go in there, get that foul. +3, +30 player.
Yeah.
Dirty player's triggered, so it's least broken armor.
And another bad card. Now APOC really is to be used.
Because it's guaranteed to work.
It's guaranteed to work. Yeah. And you know that you're gonna be players down. Like you are going to be players down. Like you are capped at 11 regardless whatever happens here, right? So you take this, you capped at 10.
Yeah, I mean that weird situation. I actually can't decide who I think's in the better position. Yeah, there's the Apo.
Yeah.
Because the Undead obviously are better. If the Undead could get a draw, a 100%, I think, yeah, the Undead are in the best position here.
Yeah. If overtime
Argument fails, but you don't care.
I was going to say, if overtime was on the table, I would pick Undead.
Yeah.
But without overtime, I am not sure. I also don't like that the blue lights, and I would use the phrasing, have had to use the 2 rerolls.
Yeah, that's not been...
Yeah.
You'd hope that the mummy wouldn't cause you to have to do the reroll, so then the reroll on the ball doesn't feel so bad.
No. Oh, but yeah. I don't think either coach at this point feels very pleasant about the situation.
Surf the Zombie. I don't actually hate Surf the Zombie here. Gets to the because puts the Undead to 9.
Yeah.
And with them having to score quickly, it does leave the Super Orcs slightly out of position.
Yeah, I think for me it's more the positioning of where this will be afterwards.
4, 5, because he basically ends up where that other blitzer is right now.
Yeah, gonna
He's
go
going
for
it.
Yeah, he's most likely gonna get it.
I thought that was a double skull for a second.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
and
another
failed region. Jesus.
So actually, that dead big one is massive now because now the Undead are still on 11.
Yeah.
Not obviously on the pitch right now, but assuming they score, which they,
I think
the
well, put it this way: if Blue Lights doesn't score, it doesn't really matter what else happens.
Yeah, that's fair. It's man, that's a it's quite fun as well because obviously Blue Lights have been targeting the Goblins and correctly because you say want to get players up. The Goblins have been bouncing off this Mighty Blow tackle player.
Yeah.
And then the big guns around him have just been dying.
Yeah. It is the big guys who's been taking the punching the most.
It's classic Blood Bowl of, like the classic, like, I can make the 5-up dodge, but the 2-up dodge, no, I can't do that one. That's impossible.
We more or less have to go through here, though.
Yeah, I think, you're aiming straight for that big and...
Yeah, away from that guy, towards the touchline line. Oh, God. Damn you,
He's
bro.
not been good. He has been so bad.
Yeah.
But you gotta do it.
You gotta push through still. It's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be safe, but you gotta have to.
Yeah. Again, if it wasn't for the timeout and this was turn 10, I think he could potentially go, okay, we'll back up for 1 turn and we'll try again next turn for a better position. But as we say,
if draw would generate overtime, sure, I would not be in a rush and a panic here. But because we are, that's a lot forward. That's a lot forward.
Is that a double rush? The ball carrier
seems not a single rush though, but still.
Oh, single rush, okay.
And I would still leave that corner.
Yeah, which the big one could get round and.
You can do a handoff. No.
That might just be the default. The default action.
So.
That big one needs tagging.
Yeah, we need to go down here and just attack. This one I don't care about.
He can get right. He can get 2 dice on the ball.
Oh.
That goblin moves. He's got 2 dice. I think you have to tag that big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So at least you make it a 4+2+2+ whatever it had to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then probably come down and tag that goblin as well.
We should tag here, I think, with the mummy.
Yeah. I'm surprised the mummy hasn't moved in yet.
Yeah.
Just because it's no dice.
And then just maybe 2 going for it here.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Taking that one? No. Gonna go for the score next turn. That's the plan, right? Yeah, like that.
Okay.
At least make him roll for it.
Yeah. The dodge into the uphill is probably the best you can have. And it also means that big one couldn't just risk the 4+2+2+.
Yeah. So, I like that.
Which I think is the Orcs. You probably just bring your players back to get in front. Oh, it's giving the zombie. It's giving up another zombie surfer.
Yeah, but
It keeps
I think that's the right choice. Like
Yeah.
might have nah.
Yeah.
It's like if you put it here, right? It's not going to be served, but then he's going to punch it off, right?
Yeah.
You need to put it over here, which makes it servable.
And I guess the fear is that the Super Orc is a double GFI blitz away from tagging the ball carrier.
No, but I think he's more worried that he comes in and kills off one of these and then attacks and have a tackle on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You come in, blitz the you blitz the
Wrestle.
that one, the wrestle, because wrestle doesn't work against Juggernaut. Double
That's
skull, another one.
Why are we re-rolling?
Wow. Maybe he thinks he can still stop the score. I don't know. I don't know. You could just but that is what the fourth double skull the Orcs have rolled.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and there was snakes on the going forward, and it's been like, yeah. Here comes.
Oh, does the dodge? Okay. You can't
re-roll that. No, but he did.
They did. They snaked it. Oh wow!
My God. He went all in for stopping that touchdown, or at least just delaying it. Wow, I did. Yeah, I've chosen. There's a lot of snaking here. We gotta take.
Favorite now. Yeah, take the free punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you do it. You could take this one with the wrestle. I just think bang it. Personally, I think just bang it in myself. But
I probably was just banging it in at this point because it's like that.
Yeah.
If I should get the snake eyes right, I will have to re-roll it, and I just don't have then that re-roll that I really need for the rest of this half.
I'd rather be there we go. Just scores. I think that's correct because I think you just go. I've now got to re-roll. The Orcs don't.
Yeah,
we've got to go. We potentially will be a bit more aggressive than the Orcs need to be. Did none of the? Oh, one of the chaos came back.
It's a chaos, so that's fine. But that means that it's 10 versus 11.
11, and they're down a blitzer as well as the big one.
And a reroll.
Yeah, and no rerolls. Oh wow, this just got interesting.
This is keeping it down to the wire.
Are we going to see an Orc Daka? Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Pause.
Hope there's nothing.
Just checking. They have arranged a cup of tea. I think that is perfectly. Well, it is a UK bubble league, so I think tea is appropriate.
Yes, quite.
We will have a short tea break. Yes. But yeah, I'm just switching back to the teams. So I think that, I didn't see that it was the big guns attrition that we would need to worry about, but attrition definitely became an issue. But yeah.
I always say Blood Bowl's a funny old game. I was at a tournament a few weeks ago with gnomes, and their first two games are caused 0 casualties. Yeah. So of course they played dwarfs game for free and caused 5 casualties. Orphan blocks, because of course that undead and undead and dark elves can't hurt them. Oh, dwarfs, yeah, you can remove them as much as you want.
Yeah. I think I had a game I think it was Blood Bowl 2. I think it was Amazon was coming out in Blood Bowl 2, and it was like a rookie dwarf team versus rookie Amazon. I was like, I was playing the dwarves, and I was like, this is going to be an easy win. Then the 3 line dwarves on the line started being badly hurt, lost strength, killed, blitz 1, got KO'd, and I was like, yeah, this is not going particularly well. And I think by turn 3 I had 3 injured / dead dwarves and 2 KO dwarves. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to concede at this point. I don't think there's much point continuing. Hey, Max.
Hey, DK.
Yeah.
Back from Liverpool. Is that a card tournament for your card game tournament for your son? Yeah, it's quite funny though. Was it in NAF style now? Amazons actually have a slightly better win percentage in the dwarf matchup, which is scary to think, considering that used to almost be a death sentence for Amazons.
Oh,
Now
definitely.
it's like 51%. So we're not talking about like it being crazy. The Amazons have like should always win the game. It's very close now, but to go from, I think in the old edition it was like 65% dwarf win rate
Yeah.
to 50%. That's quite stark.
Yeah,
That
but
was introduced in Weekend's Nomads. Was the Wife's birthday? Oh, awesome.
I think that's where you want it to. It's like that actually is like
Yeah,
good for the game balance, right? Like it's surprising, but it's good.
yeah. Turns out strength 4 defensive is pretty good against dwarves.
Oh, definitely.
Shockingly.
Shockingly. But I think it's actually also because they're high mobility in a sense.
Yeah. And
So-
those blitzers are amazing as well.
Oh yeah. So we have had a cup of tea, and we can return to the scheduled match. But yeah, I think we in for some interesting turns here. Now I'd be interested to see whether the Orcs will actually try for a touchdown, or if they will just go for a dragged out defense and try to just...
Could we see an Orc Daka?
Yeah. I doubt that it will be a Daka as much as it will just be let's huddle up in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope those about to say, I hope he's about to protect those ghouls.
Yeah.
Because I would 100% send in the super blitzer just to remove a couple of ghouls and just tank and just hide in the corner.
I think like it's 10 versus 11, right? So your numerical, you are not in a terrible place. You're missing a big
No,
one,
it's just-
which is like not optimal, but it's not the most important of them. I think
you're missing the unskilled blitzer. You're missing a very good big un, but
Yeah.
it's still just a big un.
yeah.
You still got 3 others, and it's the don't commit the line. You don't need to put much on the line. I don't think you need to do the full 5 on the line as you would normally. I don't know.
Thinking
It's
block, 3 dice, and are we gonna go in here and try to blitz this one? I'd much rather blitz this one over here. Very curious to that. I think this is not in a bad way, but this is neither one way or the other. Like it leaves him at least some flexibility to whether to push towards the touchdown or hunker down and just defend.
yeah. I think you. It's a high kick. Fails the catch. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think you just.
Yeah, that's actually not good.
No, because now you're risking, especially if they fail the pickup, you're risking getting the team.
That's a good choice for this play.
Well, you're risking getting the team detached from the. You're risking splitting the team.
Yeah.
If I'm the Undead, I am tearing down this pitch like I'm like I've got 2 war dancers and 3 wood elf catchers.
Yeah. No, it would just be a all out rush towards the ball, right?
Yeah.
Like 4 turns is not a lot. It's within the realm of at least a decent chance, but it is also not a lot.
But there is no sure thing in blood.
Hey, that play looked almost competent.
But I think like with the ball down here, it's going to be hard to push it forward without risking stuff that you don't really want to risk.
I feel like that strength 4 blitzer should have come back. I feel like if you're blitzing, you want to be blitzing the one of the ghouls on the other side of the pitch anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I
the
think you
biggest
want
problem is if
Yeah.
yeah, that's turnover.
Oh.
That's turnover.
Yeah, you do not wrestle. You
Oh.
just.
Yeah, you end the turn there because the orcs are definitely out of.
Oh.
That ghoul is getting a
Wow.
raise when he's coming home.
That's at the Homer Simpson. It was at the Simpsons episode where Homer wins the baseball game while getting hit in the head and he concussed, so everyone's celebrating.
Yeah, that's but double important that Blitz now went back home, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You needed him to come back, I think, because if he was out of position now, that's the only thing stopping that block ghoul from just tearing down the pitch.
Yeah,
because he knows he's going to get frenzy blitzed with wrestle.
Yeah.
And also he's potentially going to be surf. You have to blitz that orc lino this turn, I think. Otherwise, the anything coming up this flank is surfable. If you don't knock it out of the way.
So let's change the directions here because I think it's going to be more relevant looking at it this way.
Oh, yeah, the orcs are definitely
on the back foot. Can you swing that one over here? Yeah, we could.
I think you have to blitz with the super. Yeah, he has to blitz first because otherwise the goblins and the eagle ends up in surfing range.
Yeah, I would almost. That pro is just not doing any work today. I actually think I would have given that blitz to that super cool. If he wants to blitz that, I'll take that because that means that super orc is going off in the wrong direction, and the blitz is being used for something I don't care about.
I think I'd want to have some of these zombies stood up before I'm done.
Yeah, definitely like these zombies. At least this one and probably that one, and then maybe try to dodge this one out here and go over here.
What are we looking at now? 5 on 5? Yeah. You could potentially dodge out this bottom one. Yeah,
that's right. Like there's no real need for that one there. Just
stands himself.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck, but not really crucial.
Right, the orcs need to have just a phenomenal turn this turn.
Yeah,
as in like nothing goes wrong.
Yeah,
just yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I like the blitz, but I think I might have moved the other blitzer first.
At least do that one up first.
Yeah. Gets the stun.
Yeah, you need to fall back. You are gonna have to hunker down here. There's no real alternative to it. It's gonna be all about keeping the wolves at bay at this point.
Yeah, gets the power on the money.
That's important.
Big. Because now that frees up the goblin and the big one to come back.
Yeah.
The undead are going to. The undead are going. Yeah, you're basically now in a position which wouldn't be. And the undead need to roll some dice. They got one reroll. They can't pass everything, surely.
Full speed home.
Yeah, man, that is.
Ah, good.
Makes the pickup.
Are we getting greedy?
Okay. Where's that goblin going? Where's this sneaky goblin going?
It's gonna foul. Really?
I'm not sure I'd be fouling.
Wow.
Especially a stunned player.
Yeah.
That feels really bad.
Feels a little needless.
You're giving yourself a chance of getting sent off for basically doing nothing.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah, I do agree. Blue lights.
Yeah, that's
that feels rough.
Yeah. But
And now that I would have fouled.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't know you're going to do the double, the red dice the
But
red
on
the
the
red
other hand,
dice
it's actually
knockdown.
not that like it doesn't really like it's a bad luck dice roll, right? But it doesn't really matter that much. You stand
Yeah.
them up, and then that sort of like
Yeah.
resets itself more or less.
Yeah, the other mummy probably tries the GFI just to tag the big one,
Yeah.
and then you
got zombie
and
here
you run the
too.
other zombie. You run the other zombie forward. I think you run that zombie forward because I think you might end up needing the zombie tag at some point.
Yeah. This is why.
Yeah, the super's
Cabal Vision
white
HD
needs
comes
to.
with a range of new features.
Do you actually blitz with the super white here?
Instruction guide for further
Yeah, I was just thinking like you more or less need to do that because you need to clear them off to get up here, right? And
Yeah,
alternatively is you need to sort of like clear this one and then tag in here and then put pressure in from here. But can we get something in from in here? No, gonna be short-handed over here, and I don't like that.
you could. I mean, I think the best I could see there is you bring the white to go in between the blitzer and the big one. You blitz with the block
Yeah,
ghoul to tag the
you're not
tag the
tagging. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you tag the ball carrier, and then after the super blitzer punches, white punches, hopefully the leader ghoul can come and tag the super orc, and then you hopefully get a situation where
yes.
the orcs have to roll some dice, and I don't know. It feels like having considering how bad the situation looked a minute ago. Oh god, that white has been terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
He is just not doing any heavy lifting today.
no. I'd say from here, I feel that the orcs have probably just about done enough at this stage, unless they have a disastrous dice turn.
Yeah, I think the
Because
undead
the fact
are.
that blue lights. Yeah, they've all got legendary. They've both got one legendary player, DK.
Yeah.
So there's also there's a strength 4 orc as well. Yeah.
Don't like this at this point. Like it's just getting desperate.
Yeah, I feel for the undead. No, I think you need to tag the big one. Oh, he's just going for it. Okay. Reroll used. Yes, the POW.
That is
Unfortunately,
big.
you are pushing it. You are pushing it towards the super orc. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But wow.
Okay. I was just about to say the problem the undead have is they've now after this turn they've only got 2 turns to not only not get the ball down but also pick it up and score.
Where's this other soul?
That's probably going to help a bit. Yeah, that might have helped that.
Yeah. I think it's still in the orcs' favor here, but they definitely helped themselves a fair bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you bring the you punch that the.
That's a good choice for this play.
Oh,
Yeah.
I assumed he was going to punch the other. I thought you'd punch the other ghoul because that frees up the.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a bit from this guy.
Blitz with the big one on him. Fair enough.
1 and 9. Yep, 1 and 9.
Oh, it's on. Oh.
What is that? Is that a 4+? 4+ dodge and
4 plus 3 plus 2. 4.
yeah, that's 4+, 3+ with a reroll.
Is there any way you could clear the goblin?
Not easily, but I think you gotta have to try to do something here. Like,
yeah, you've got to this turn. You've got to. I think maybe you punch with the super white first, just to get the
to free up the player so you can toss more in.
Yeah,
and have a better chance.
That way the other ghoul could come up and tag the thrower and the big one that just messed up.
Yeah,
and then
He's just not doing any lifting. You gotta have to put him there. No, you might as well put him there.
You could two.
Stand that guy up.
4,
We bring
5,
this
6,
guy
7, 8.
down here.
Yeah, you could at this stage actually use the ghoul that can pick up the ball to blitz the goblin. You wouldn't be able to score this turn. Oh, I thought he was coming to tag. I guess it gives you the punch in a second. You need to bring that mummy should have moved in by now.
Yeah, this one really needs to go over there.
Yeah.
I would probably prefer to be those two reversed.
Yeah, that was my thought process. That was what I was thinking. And then I think you could blitz with the goblin onto that blitz the goblin with the ghoul that's at the top, and then pick up the ball on a 3+.
No, I actually think if I was
burns the one, nice.
This not move this turn last. So if this was me, I would blitz here with this guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You blitz him, get him out of the way, make it a 4+.
3+.
3+, sorry.
Yeah.
And then you just go and try and pick up the ball now and just try and come back towards the middle of the pitch.
You gotta try to pick up the ball.
Should have been moving that mummy first, though.
Yeah. And then this ghoul definitely needs to go down here.
Yeah, dodge him off. Move the mummy first to tag, just because you might as well, just to tag the big one.
Definitely.
Don't blitz the orc. Don't punch the orc blitzer, because all you're going to probably do is potentially move him closer. Yeah, it makes the dodge. Oh wow, wowzers!
It is getting down to the wire.
What a turnaround!
And if you're orcs, what are you praying for now? Yeah, you gotta.
Super orc dodges out. You stand. Gets the POW.
Gets the goblin.
Doesn't even need to blitz out.
Yeah.
Dodge out. Sorry, you can just. 2, 4, 6. It's a rush.
Yeah. Got it's down to the wire. The orcs are definitely also because it's your hands. No, sorry, it's strip ball.
Doesn't. Okay, so you've got to rush again.
Yeah, but he's
you push him towards the thrower.
Strip ball.
Oh, strip ball. Oh, strip ball. Yes.
Yeah. And. Yep.
Oh.
Hey, we're gonna
Juggernaut. Okay. Yeah. Juggernaut. Yeah, you push him away. So still a 3+, 4+, 3+. Worst case currently for
wait. I would have put him up here.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. What do you do as the undead now?
That's a good question.
Okay, mix the dodge.
Yeah.
That's a good choice for this play.
Gets a power, and I'm assuming a mummy. Oh, zombie. Okay. So
get through there.
Is there something clever you can do with the blitz or the white down here?
Yeah, I think. Just see, I'm gonna end up lacking actions. Try to dodge out and come down and help. I think.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the mummies are out of the game, so.
Can we get him? Really want to get is this guy.
Can the super white do something? Maybe.
Just stood him up, so he's not going to be doing much, didn't he?
No, the super white hasn't stood up. No, he wasn't punched.
Oh.
2, 4. So if you can punch this blitzer on the left, the orc blitzer, the orc blitzer near it's got the ghoul and the white on him.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 7. You could get 1 dice on the super orc. No, maybe you get 2 dice, couldn't you? Because when you bring down the other one.
Yeah.
you could. It was a double GFI for then 2 dice on the Super Orc. But I feel like you need that Super Orc gone because the
It's just tackle
I
too.
guess the POW. Yeah, because of the tackle. Because he tackles in on the ball. He's the tackle. It's just too many dice. Otherwise, I think you need to move him off.
Yeah.
So then you 2, 4, 6. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah. So
Move him over here. Then hope
move him over here and then the double GFI blitz.
Yeah.
Yeah, and push him onto the ball and just see what happens. Unless you want to risk the 1D with the wrestle ghoul on the.
I would probably take the wrestle here and then hope with the.
Okay. And then it's a 3+3+. As long as you get the Super Orc down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not the right location.
Tasty.
That is not all right.
So he's freed up there. Oh, are we just going to blitz with the? Oh, is he just blitzing with the?
Yeah.
No. Okay, he's blitzing with the Super. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Can he finally do something?
No, he can't, and that's the problem. No, and you could have avoided. You could have avoided this.
So now it's a 4+ with dodge, a 4+ pickup, and then a 3+ without dodge.
4+, 3+.
No, it fails to pick up.
Damn it. So close.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I get why he didn't do it because the lack of rerolls.
Yeah.
But maybe that ghoul needed a GFI on turn 15 just to get out of the way.
Yeah.
But I say that game, considering how many times it swung from one side to the other, that was hell of a game.
Definitely, and it was closely fought to the very bitter last dice. And commiserations to Blue Lights. I think you put in a hell of a fight, and yes, it's technically a draw this match, but Blue Lights went into this match having lost one of the matches in the knockout tournament, so he needed a win to win the final. So it also means that Brunginho has won the first season of Clash of the Titans, and congratulations. That was well played and well deserved. So actually, he has gone through the whole tournament without losing. That is quite the impressive feat. Even though the Black Orcs definitely forgot their armor.
Yeah, those bigger removals either side of the half were massive for the game.
Oh yes.
But Blue Lights did what you had to do at that point. When you have, again, it said completely different if he only needed the draw to go to overtime. He probably doesn't score that quickly, and he just picks on those Orcs as much as he can in the second half to get the numbers advantage for overtime. But obviously, because he had to go for the win, even though he was well in control of the pitch, he couldn't do that, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, he had to bang it in early, which then obviously led to led to the Orcs having a slight advantage, I'd say. But bloody hell, that was it was stressful for us watching. I can't imagine it was like playing it, Brunginho.
I was going to say it was stressful to watch, so imagine playing it. Yes, definitely. A close and well fought match, definitely.
A third reroll for the next season. If you're going to keep double sculling,
Definitely seems to be that was a lot of snaking on dice. I sensed both on skulls and other dice, but yeah, that was. I think the Undead only had one double skull. I seem to remember, and the Orcs
they had the 1 in 27 with the mummy at the start of the half.
Oh yeah. That's
and they snaked with the rush to tag the ball carrier on turn 7.
Yeah, I think definitely the kickoff result of removing that one turn really made a huge impact. There was some turns that the orcs were really having bad dice, and the same for the undead. That seemed to be like always a bad time, but sort of fair on both sides. So yeah.
Both legends were awful pretty much for the game. the orc one was slightly better, I'd say, but man, I've never seen Pro not do so little in the game.
No, that's. I think someone should have a chat with their legend afterwards and say like, you're not coming back for next season, definitely.
I mean, he's undead. He's probably about like 500 years old. He's probably just over the hill now.
There is definitely a good chance of that, definitely. So, I just want to see if I can do this. I just want to have a short look at see if I wanted to show the breakdown of the tournament and if that's possible. I'm still getting used to this OBS stuff here, so just bear with me here.
OBS is great until it isn't.
It's like most things. If you know how to use it, it is probably amazing. And like this is so.
You should try using it like in the 2015, 2016. Man, and there was no real guides on the internet either. That was fun.
Oh, I bet it was. So I can fix this and go. We have the final results. So yes, it almost seems like it's sort of like it breaks down from the middle, and then everyone just fades out. And so it's funny how it breaks down. But yeah, cool. Before I was going to say we'll love you and leave you, I wanted to show you an invite for a tournament that BB Nuts is hosting. I don't know if you want to add a few words of advertising for your lovely league.
Yeah. So this is KNBBL, Kind of Nuts Blood Bowl League. A kind sir, who's another streamer, very good. You should check him out. Mostly North American time zone. He's run 2 seasons of the Kind of Bad Blood Bowl League. And it's an absolutely great league, but it's North American based. And especially last season, we had a few issues with just time zones conflicting, that kind of classic. I can play, but you need to stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning, which is less than ideal. So I suggested that we do the Kind of Bad Blood Bowl League as a European sister. It's NAF style. You have groups of 6. We're currently up to 14 signups, I think, for the European side of it. And then you do a group of 6, and then the top 2 make the playoffs. Depending on number of groups, it might be some third place teams. And then we have a playoff system, and then the winner of Kind of Bad Blood Bowl League plays the winner of Kind of Nuts Blood Bowl League in the Kind of Super Bowl. And it's honestly, there's some really good players signed up for it. It's been a really good fun, and I would say I would highly recommend it. We're looking to start the Tuesday after NAFC. Originally, it was going to be the Monday after NAFC, but there's no way I'm doing admin after NAFC. I want a day off.
That sounds perfectly reasonable. There's an admin to another admin, so I am fully on board with that.
I'm probably going to be a little tired, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So,
or think Blood Bowl's an awful game, and don't want to look at Blood Bowl for a day.
Yeah, just need a detox once in a while. So,
but do go there. Do make sure you sign up to. I've had a few people do on this. Go on there. Do make sure you sign up to if you're European based, or you can play in the North American one if it suits your time zone better. Like I know I play in a few Aussie leagues because it suits me better. I mostly play UK mornings, their evening. But yeah, do go on there. Do make sure there is 2 different sign up groups for it. I say I would highly recommend it. It's other than UKBBL, it's probably about the most fun I've had in a league.
Well, you have definitely persuaded me, so I have already signed up. So I will definitely be giving that a test run and see how that goes. At least, hopefully, it will have some fun playing some matches. At least,
I would say this season. I know I've had a lot of people ask this. This season, there is no what do you call it? Brain will work in a second. There's no World Cup ticket on the line. That was they did have one last season. But if you do play this season, whoever makes the playoffs is guaranteed spot the following season. You don't have to sign up. Everyone else then does a sign up. So if you are thinking about World Cup tickets in the future, which I know a lot of people are, it's worth getting in some of these. I think it's worth getting in some of the leagues early because when it comes to the sign up phase, they're obviously going to give preferential treatment to people who have been in the leagues.
Returning players generally have preference, right?
Yeah, because I completely agree with it. I think having someone just come in for one season, which I get people chasing World Cup tickets. I get it. That's another conversation though. But obviously, yeah.
Yes. No,
yeah.
I'm also a big fan of rewarding loyalty and playing. So I fully think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Happy to hear that. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in 4 days we will be back. I will be playing that time, and Evie will be covering. And then in 8 days more, we will be returning yet again. I think this is the one you are covering with Phil, as far as I remember.
Oh.
Or is it me? I can't remember. Too many matches going on, planning.
I think it might be the way around. I could definitely do the 24th. I don't know if I could do the 28th.
Well, then it's probably the other way around. Then it's just me misremembering.
Okay.
So
I could be wrong.
We'll sort it out afterwards. I don't think anyone needs to be tortured with that.
This is the FA Cup, is it?
Yeah. So there is there is a mirror match, a Lizardman match, which I think is going to be really interesting. Both good players and Lizardman teams are. I think for it will probably become a technical match because Lizardman teams are one of those teams that actually function in a mirror match, whereas certain teams it really like dwarves versus dwarves is just a horrible mirror match. But yeah, but that's and the other one is more orcs against some Skaven, so should be good too.
Funny enough, I used to think Necro versus Necro was one of the most interesting mirror matches. Then I played it about 25 times on the ladder of the Necro season.
Yeah.
And then I stopped enjoying it.
Yeah. I think Necro, from my point of view, as mirror matches, they sort of function on the same skill sets too much that it they both want to blob, they both want to punch, and then they want to positioning with the rest, and I think that's not as like one of the if you really want to have an interesting mirror match, like Wood Elves versus Wood Elves or Dark Elves versus stuff. That is I think for me peak mirror match level.
Vampires versus vampires, as long as both of you can go and have a stiff half drink afterwards.
Vampires versus vampires is basically just saying, Knuffle, sort this out and then tell us what it ended with.
It's a really fun game. It's basically neither of you can keep the ball safe. Good luck.
Yeah, and it's like who fails at what time, more or less. So, but yeah, cool.
Man.
I will pass everyone else off, and we'll be back in 4 days and broadcasting. Hopefully, see you then, and have a happy Easter. Take care. Bye.
Bye, guys.